Well, it's day number 366, the last day of 2020. By midnight, the world will be ushered into a new year. Here in Ghana, churches and many others are preparing for many religious activities and other celebrations to usher in the new year. Joy News has been out on the streets of Accra to find out what some people have been up to. Here's a report by Sarah Mensah.
Inside the Perez Chapel International here in Accra, church workers are hard at work preparing for the night. This hall seats over 4,000 people, and it is expected to be filled to capacity for the church's last service of the year.
As you can see, the seats are spaced to meet the COVID-19 protocols. We have other protocols in place. So to ensure that people wash their hands when they are coming in, we have Veronica buckets stationed at all the various entry points. People have not been to church. For some people, since the COVID started, there's an opportunity to end the year in the presence of God. We also have our virtual services, so those who are not able to make it can also watch from home. But I'm sure people would come. There will be a huge turnout because people will want to enter the new year in the presence of God. As I said, there's still the virtual option for those who still feel they are aged and want to watch from home, or feel that they still don't want to come into the service and would want to have the same atmosphere in their homes. We also have an overflow for people who feel they may not be comfortable in here. And because we have spaced the seats as well, the capacity you can have in the auditorium is reduced. So we have an overflow outside with screens and spacing for people who want to also who would come but will not have the opportunity to be in the auditorium.
Already, many of the congregants are booking their seats by leaving their Bibles and bags on available spaces.
Some people go to work and they come late, so they call some of the ushers and tell them they should reserve a seat for them. But tonight, whilst I'm looking around, I mean, it could be people who come early. So whilst they reserve the seat and people do not come early, we may remove the things so that people will sit, so that there will not be a space whilst people are sitting. You could see that there is a spacing between the people, so we don't want those things to happen. So we will start our service at 8 o'clock. So maybe by 7:30 and the person wasn't in, then we will take the thing off and people.
Elsewhere at the pedestrians market at Circle in Accra, scores of people are busy buying and selling. Here, there are those who would be spending the last night of the year out of the church, like 28-year-old Kwabena Boache.
Manjalo, and +2 Kumasi, only Jinam, and I do a K2. Yes, we are quite there. You call boil last year, boil 2020, so you have boiled the Jano. This year, only be cool. Because they see it, make a campus with you better now one side. And I baby. So we have your baby, Guinness Buffalo, Club Buffalo. I do be our best so money to be a +2. Best sell.
2020 has been a difficult year for many, with the world dealing with a pandemic never seen before in decades. Many Ghanaians are looking forward to a relatively better and hopefully prosperous 2021. Sarah Mensah's report for Joy News.
So how is the rest of Ghana readying itself for the end of the new year? We're joined by Zoom by correspondence. First, we have Rafiq Salam joining us from the Upper West region. Wow. Hello, Rafiq. How is the preparations for the new year going?
Okay, preparations for the new year in the Upper West region, I can tell you, is quite in advanced stage because many people are preparing to go to the pub, some want to go to the church, and others are saying that they will be outdoors, they won't be in any of these places, but they will like to stay vigil till the next morning. And so, as I speak to you now, preparations are ongoing. People already have washed their cars, and also the salons will also full to the brim, and for them to go to the churches and also go to the pubs to observe this particular day.
All right. Is there a very special way that people of Wa welcome the new year?
Usually it used to be converging at the pubs and also at the restaurants. It used to be at the Accra Hotel, which is was for the middle class. But I'm told that that occasion is not coming on. But there are other places like the Cage Lodge where people will converge, and also a place like the Guys where people will also converge. And also you go to the churches, you go, it will be full to the brim, and so many people would like to witness the crossover in these places. But the only disappointing thing for the people of the Upper West region, especially people who want to drink alcohol, especially club beer, I'm also told that Palm Wine is also not in town. So they are going to have somehow a dry crossover in the Upper West region.
All right, Rafik, just to confirm, so we have two commodities that are in short supply. You said club beer and palm wine.
Yes, they are not in town, and if you go to town this evening around 4 or 5, if you see the queues that were there, several people wanted palm wine as well. But you see, it's also good for the local industry, talking about the Pito, because most of the Pito bars were also filled to the brim because people, because the club beer and other commodities are not there, so they are resorting to the use of the local Pito, and they're also cashing in on them.
All right, so the lack of club beer and palm wine has brought Pito to the fore. So Pito is enjoying all the glory.
It's going to enjoy all the glory because people are saying that it's even far better because that's where you can get all the local natural ingredients, which they have shifted to the foreign one, but they are thinking that now they are back home.
All right, thank you very much, Rafik Salam. And we're moving to Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital, where Erastus Sasarodonko is on standby. Erastus, is there a special way people in Kumasi are ushering the new year?
You know that the people of Kumasi are very religious, and so they do not take their Christianity for granted. And a lot of them, when you speak to them on the street, they think that if you do not go to church on the 31st, then you are closer to the devil himself. And so on a night like this, on the 31st, getting into the new year, every person you see on the street is heading towards at least to participate 10 minutes of church activity and to usher in the new year before they go back to the street to enjoy themselves. And so if you look at the street right now, lots of traffic across the street. This particular one is Bomso. As you see, a number of petrol vehicles that at this moment you wouldn't find are on the streets moving to and fro because people are heading towards the various churches to climax at the year. Here at Love FM, where I'm standing now, behind me is the Maxima area. Looks a bit silent, but in front of me, quite loudly in the area, we have the Miracle Manor Church, which is hosting a church service in front of our premises this evening. Quite a number of chairs have been arranged. People are trooping in to sit down to climax the year right here in our premises, Love and in Shire FM Israel.
All right, so we can see the live visuals, as you indicated, of that church service that's going to take place. From what you see, are we likely to have social distancing protocols being practiced there?
Well, they've arranged the chairs in this manner, but there are ushers who are to ensure that people do not sit in some of the middle seats and all that to ensure that we have social distancing. And it's also a mask compulsory service. And so ushers are in there to ensure that people who are coming in are wearing masks, and those who do not have are given some to ensure that they conform with the COVID protocols. But Israel, I must also say, that there are people who are not going to church. The Bantama High Street, for example, is agog with the usual music for people who want to take a beer and sit down there. There are people who are buying lots of firecrackers, and so they want to be outdoors to fire them when it's 12 midnight and we are crossing over into the new year. So a number of people who are going to the various clubs, especially the open door bars, to receive the new year as we usher it in this evening, Israel.
All right, Erasto, so in the Upper West region, we heard from Rafik who's saying that there's a shortage of some beverages. There's a shortage of beer, club beer to be precise, and then there's palm wine shortage. Do you have any similar experience in Kumasi?
Well, in Kumasi, there is always beer, and so we have not gotten that shortage here in the Ashanti region. Lots of beer to drink. I passed by some of the popular spots, Amakum, you have Bantama, Asafo, and its environs. You have Ahonjo, where the popular spots are, Asukwa, where we have the mall, and a number of open air bars are available. There's stocked drinks, chilled drinks for people to enjoy. But what you find is that people do not normally take to the drinking spot in their numbers as they used to on 31st night. They go to church, and after the church, tomorrow is the time that they sit down to consume all the beer you can find in the fridges across the length and breadth of Kumasi.
All right, thank you very much, Erastus Asario Donko, bringing us that update from Kumasi. We move now to Ivy Setoji from the Volta region. Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy. And how are the preparations shaping up for the ushering in of the new year? Right? It appears we're having some challenges with Ivy. But we will be doing this with the rest of our correspondents. We'll be going to the other correspondents. We'll be going to Cape Coast as well in a bit.